If you are wanting to jump on the bandwagon of buying a house in Omaha in 2026, this video is for you. We're going to talk about what we're seeing in the Omaha market right now and what we're kind of predicting and projecting early 2026 is going to look like for home buyers and home sellers in the Omaha metro. My name is Morgan Putnam and I am a local realtor. Let's get into it. Thank you so much for stopping by the Omaha Insider YouTube channel. Please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my channel so you're always the first to know what's going on in Omaha. We're going to start with existing homes and then we'll look at new construction. So if we look at existing inventory right now, it is up 18% year over year. That is a huge increase of the number of homes for sale. And at the same time, pending sales are up 13%. So that's a big difference between last year at this time and this year. And I think a big factor of that change is interest rates have come down a decent amount from late fall last year compared to right now. Late fall last year, interest rates were hovering in high sixes, in some cases into the sevens. And now we are not seeing that really at all. The majority of people who are getting a mortgage right now are in the low sixes to high fives, especially if you're FHA or VA. We are seeing moderate price growth. We're around 5% year over year, which is great. That's good stability for sellers, but it is not near what it was like during COVID when we were seeing 10 to 15% increase year over year. The average price for a home in the Omaha metro was around $370,000 last month. Days on market are increasing. We're around 17 to 20 days now for a home to go under contract. I would say that's the data, but that's also the felt experience. It is not unusual for homes to take around a month, maybe 2 months to sell right now. And so as a seller, it's really good to adjust your expectations of what to expect with the current market. And then for buyers, it also shows that you don't necessarily have to rush out the door to see a listing. However, with that being said, if there is a house that comes on the market that is priced right, it is really what you're looking for, you still want to go and see the house with a sense of urgency because there are still homes that will sell with multiple offers. And home sellers are getting around 97.9% of list price on average. So during the COVID years, again, we were like 104, 105% of list price received. And now we are below 100% pretty steadily. And that just means that there's a little bit more negotiating power for buyers. So as we go into the 2026 market, I think for folks who are looking for existing homes, you're going to see a lot of the similar trend. There's going to be more negotiating opportunities for buyers. And so it's great for sellers to adjust their expectations of what they will receive once an offer actually comes in. If it's not a little bit below list price, the offer, then the buyers might end up asking for some seller paid closing costs or that sort of thing to make it more affordable in order for them to actually close and buy the house. Right now, we are in a weird place because overall in the economy in general, people are feeling pretty weary. And then we also have the element of, interest rates that are staying in that like low sixes where people are still wanting a 5 at the beginning of their interest rate, where that is not standard right now. And I think maybe we'll see, I don't even want to say it. I don't know what we'll see ultimately with interest rates in 2026, but ultimately you have to decide that if it's time to buy a house, this is what the interest rates are. There's no promises, there's no guarantees of them coming down. And people have been on the sidelines for years waiting for them to come down, and homes have only grown in value. So we have 3 dynamics at play. We have the economy in general, we have interest rates that people feel like are still hovering high, and then we have normal seasonality where things slow down. There's just not as much activity happening in the market, even though this year we're seeing a lot more than last year at this time. But those are the factors that are happening right now. And I think we'll still see some of these same dynamics going into the spring, but with existing homes, there's always an uptick of listings in the spring. And the spring market in Omaha starts usually the end of February. So we'll start seeing more listings come on the market. And then I think there will be more buyers coming out to look at houses. There will be more competition. If you are one of those buyers who wants a major deal, now is the time to buy through the end of February, because there's going to be more buyers that you're competing against to buy a house come end of February and then through July. It is becoming pretty common in the market for folks to get offers, especially if your house is listed $400,000 or above, for there to be a home sale contingency involved. And so you want to work with a realtor who really knows what's going on with home sale contingencies and how to negotiate it to the best of your favor when you are a seller, so you don't end up taking your home off the market for a month or 2 months or 3 months, then all of a sudden that home sale contingency never actually comes through. What we are seeing in new construction is that pending sales are down quite a bit, and the average sold price for new construction is actually gone down a little bit in the Omaha metro. It's taking around 59 days on average for a new construction home to go under contract, and there's about 6.5 months of inventory for new construction, which means it's really in that like neutral market category that doesn't favor the builder or the buyer. Right now, at the end of the year, we see some builders push through a lot of incentives to try to get some of these houses off their books. But what we're seeing is that a lot of builders are not necessarily wanting to put a bunch of money into spec homes that they don't necessarily know will sell, and they're trying to get a lot of pre-sale builds in contract. So that means that they want buyers to come to them and to say, hey, I want you to build this house. And then they get under contract with a buyer so they know that that house will sell and won't just sit as a spec home. If you're curious about new construction, I have another video talking about 10 mistakes to avoid with new construction, and that will definitely be a helpful guide to make sure that you choose a builder that is the right fit for you. If you're curious if this market is a good market for you to participate in with your specific situation, do not hesitate to reach out. It is really helpful to talk to somebody who has boots on the ground every day and is really involved in this local real estate market, so you know if it's actually the right time for you. And with the different incentives and different opportunities out there with lenders and with builders, feel free to reach out anytime. My website is www.heymorganputnam.com, and my phone number is 402-720-9886.